President Trump rolls back environmental protections. Oklahoma's rainy day fund runs dry, and a Federal Reserve president tells Oklahomans the economy's looking good. This is OU Nightly. President Donald Trump today launched his mission to dismantle a legacy of environmental protections created by his predecessor, former President Barack Obama.
Trump issued an executive order to gut the Clean Power Plan. That's the focal point of former President Obama's effort to fight global warming, something President Trump calls a hoax. With coal miners at his side, the president signed the order, rolling back climate regulations centering around the fossil fuel industry. Among other things, the order ends the moratorium on mining for coal on public lands, fulfilling an often repeated Trump campaign promise. The action also orders a review of policies aimed at identifying pollution from oil and natural gas production and hydraulic fracking on property regulated by the Bureau of Land Management.
Today, I'm taking bold action to follow through on that promise. My administration is putting an end to the war on coal. Going to have clean coal, really clean coal.
But scientists say the rollback will not help the failing coal industry. They say coal jobs have largely been lost to cleaner natural gas and mechanized mining.
And meantime, scientists here at OU say the executive order will create more pollution and therefore increase threats to public health. The concern is that while Trump's order could create jobs, it'll also increase the amount of pollution causing coal used to create electricity and power industry.
So it's kind of a trade-off. You may be able to hold a few coal jobs for a while, but you're going to be impacting society negatively. So it's not safe to do what they're doing, that's for sure.
In the worst case, Dr. Richmond says the order could create a long-term problem with global consequences.
Police have arrested a woman suspected of driving the vehicle used by three men who were attempting to rob a home. The Wagoner County Sheriff's Office says Elizabeth Rodriguez was waiting in the vehicle while the would-be robbers were shot to death by the homeowner's son. Police say the trio was armed with brass knuckles and a knife. However, the man inside the house had an AR-15. Wagoner County Deputy Nick Mahoney says it appears the shooting was in self-defense, but further investigation is still underway.
And more public schools has canceled classes this evening and evening activities before 5 o'clock. Mid-Del schools have done the same. Kylie, what can you tell us about this evening's weather?
All right, guys, so it's another severe weather day today. We're currently watching the formation of this squall line out in the Texas Panhandle right now. This storm system is moving directly northeast. That will be affecting us in the next few hours, so keep an eye on that. We're watching these dew points. The higher the dew points go, the better chance that we will have for the formation of severe storms later. We need this dew point in Norman right now to hit about the mid-60s, and that's starting to creep in. More warm, moist air from the Texas area right now is starting to move north, so keep an eye on that as well. That'll be very telling for the next couple hours. Coming up in Maine weather, going to be talking about that severe weather threat for tonight. Lots of rain on that 7-day forecast and cooler temperatures ahead of us. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Kylie. It seems that rainy days seem to be a concern at the state capitol as well. Senate Democrats shocked reporters Monday with their answer to this question: how much had been borrowed from the state's rainy day fund? The Senate staff says the Office of Management and Enterprise Services had transferred $380 million, but OMES spokesperson later said it was just $240 million. Either way, the fund is temporarily empty. Oklahoma Finance Secretary Preston Dorflinger reported a month ago that he had borrowed money from the state's backup fund to keep the government afloat. When asked about the transaction, Dorflinger said, quote, "I, in my official capacity, have the ability to borrow money from month to month for cash flow purposes. I've been doing that. I do it every year, and my predecessors did the same thing," end quote. Senate leaders say at least $4 million need to be put back in before June.
And hunters in Oklahoma could soon be able to shoot feral hogs from the sky. Lawmakers are considering allowing landowners to shoot the animals from a helicopter after acquiring a license from the state. The hunters would not have to be licensed, just the landowners where the hogs plan to be killed. A contract program by the Oklahoma Department of Agriculture, Food and Forestry has already killed more than 11,000 feral hogs.
And the Oklahoma Supreme Court has rejected a second proposed rewrite of a ballot question on medical marijuana that was authored by the state attorney general. The ballot proposed question on medical marijuana was shot down with a 7-1 vote. The state's highest court rejected the proposed rewrite, and the initiative supporters argue was rewritten intentionally misleading and intended to confuse people into thinking they were voting to fully legalize marijuana.
And House Intelligence Chair will not step down from the Russian probe investigation. Harley Toothman joins us in the News Center with more.
The Trump administration is providing no information about who let the GOP intelligence chairman Devin Nunes into White House offices the day before he announced President Trump's campaign may have been surveilled by routine U.S. intelligence. Meanwhile, Nunes canceled this week's Intelligence Committee meetings looking into possible Russian interference in the 2016 presidential campaign. That comes while there's a growing demand that Nunes recuse himself from the investigation. And late this afternoon, Nunes said he has invited FBI Chief James Comey to testify again before the committee. U.S. officials continue investigating the deaths of Iraqi citizens in Mosul. Lieutenant General Stephen Townsend says since they struck in that area, there's a fair chance they caused the deaths. Both the Iraqi and U.S. forces launched investigations of the 112 bodies discovered following the airstrikes. And Attorney General Jeff Sessions took to the White House podium to fire at sanctuary cities who refuse to report immigrants in custody.
Sanctuary cities is a descriptive, it's a political term. It doesn't have a legal meaning, so I don't even know what the Attorney General is talking about when he talks about this issue.
Mayors from around the country will meet Wednesday with Secretary General John Kelly to discuss sanctuary policies. And Storm, the White House announced that Trump will not throw out the first pitch on the opening day for the Washington Nationals, defying a tradition that goes back to 1910.
Wow, all right. Thank you, Harley. Facing charges of failing to report sexual assault 10 times, an elementary school principal and teacher will no longer be employed by the Perry Public School System. An 86-year-old teaching assistant admitted to fondling 10 girls between the ages of 10 and 13. But former elementary school principal Kenda Miller and math teacher Jeffrey Solons say they didn't report the claims to police after being approached by the girls because they thought the girls were lying. The state school board had revoked both educators' teaching certificates, an action Miller is now suing the board for, claiming proper evidence of negligence had not been submitted.
And 3/4 of Oklahoma voters that were surveyed said spending state dollars on higher education is actually a good investment. Lawmakers have said it's not a funding priority in this state, but Oklahoma Tomorrow, a new nonprofit for higher education funding, said they wanted to know for themselves where the people stood on this issue. The survey shows that 96% of those polled agreed that higher education is important to economic health, and 60% say not enough Oklahomans receive a college degree. The budget for colleges and universities was cut more than $157 million during the 2016 legislative session, and while this group does promote consistent funding, it's not backed by any specific proposal for new revenue.
And still to come on OU Nightly, positive signs for unemployment in the state.
Plus, talk of economic expansion comes to Oklahoma. Stay with us. Welcome back. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics and Oklahoma Employment Security Commission reported last week that Oklahoma saw a slight improvement in its percentage of unemployed workers last month. The unemployment percentage for February was 4.6, down from January's rate of 4.7. Even though this change is small, the Bureau said year over year the rate was down by 0.2 of a percentage point. State economic analysts also say Oklahoma gained close to 3,000 jobs in February.
And the economy continues to be a hot topic across the nation, including today being a big day for markets, with remarks coming from 4 federal bank presidents. Nightly's Allie Stratton attended one of those gatherings right here in the Metro.
Yeah, that's right, Storm. So one of those bank presidents was in Midwest City. Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City President Esther George talked to a group of women bankers about the economy and monetary policy. George was optimistic about the state of the U.S. economy, saying the current expansion has been one of the longest ever. She specifically noted progress toward low inflation rates, low unemployment rates, and high consumer optimism. George, known as a staunch supporter for interest rate hikes, again called for rate increases. Though she has been at odds with colleagues in the past, lately the view of Fed officials has been moving in George's direction. The Fed has raised rates 3 times since the end of the financial crisis. It plans to raise rates 2 more times in 2017, though George did not divulge when those hikes will occur or by how much. And with that trend of economic expansion, the markets continue to flourish. The Dow broke its 8-day losing streak today with its best day since the start of the month. The index wavered this morning, then climbed steadily throughout the day. It added 151 points, rising 0.7%. In the past week, Trump's stunning failure to repeal and replace Obamacare has spooked investors, but their concerns over the market implications of that dispute eased today, largely in response to new data revealing a surge in consumer confidence. And Ford announced today that it plans to invest more than $1 billion into 3 of its plants in Michigan. The bulk of that, nearly $850 million, will help its plant in Wayne build the Ford Ranger and Bronco. The rest will be invested in its engine plant in Romeo and a data center in Flat Rock. President Trump praised Ford's move today, calling it an example of car companies coming back to America. And in food business news, the owner of Olive Garden ponied up $780 million to acquire Cheddar's food chain. I don't know about you guys. I'm not huge fans of either of those. Are either of you fans of Olive Garden or Cheddar's?
This has been quite the argument between us today. I am an Olive Garden fan, so is Storm.
Yeah,
so
Olive Garden's great. Thanks, Allie.
Thanks, Allie.
Still ahead on OU Nightly, OU volleyball gets its spring start this Saturday.
And Kylie Capps is here with a look at the cloudy weather. Kylie?
Watching the development of severe storms out west. I'll have that and more coming up next. Welcome back to OU Nightly. I'm Kylie Capps. Currently, we're looking at a live shot across OU's campus right now, and it is quiet out there. Clear right now, or cloudy right now, after we did see a few sprinkles earlier this afternoon. Currently, those winds are light out of the east. Now, the next couple days, though, or actually the next few hours, could be pretty active. Okay, these are our current watches and warnings. So if you notice, just west of Norman, just west of Cleveland County, that's that tornado watch, and it is going to expire at 11 p.m. However, take that with a grain of salt. If this was me issuing this tornado watch, I would include Norman in that. The possibility for a tornado here is low, but still a possibility. Okay, so it is springtime, which means that threat of severe weather is going to be every few days. Here's my radar forecast right now. A lot of the models are disagreeing, but this is the one that I'm going to go with, the one that I believe is going to be the most accurate. Okay, so tonight around 8:30 p.m. that's whenever we're going to see that first line of showers and thunderstorms that are forming out west right now. This is called a squall line, so that's just going to be a very concentrated area of showers and thunderstorms with that severe threat possibility. Okay, so by later on tonight, after about midnight tonight, those will have pushed off east. Okay, so but we're gonna see another round. There's that other round moving through after about midnight tonight. So that is going to be early morning on Wednesday, and then on Wednesday we're going to be clear, just a chance for some showers and thunderstorms throughout the morning on Wednesday, and then by Wednesday evening it's going to be clear and have moved all the way out. Okay, so here's my severe outlook. Currently I'm sitting Norman in that enhanced zone, which does mean that there is a threat for an isolated tornado. Large hail I have predicted up to grapefruit size. Again, that's going to be your max hail, but still a possibility, and then 70+ mile per hour winds. So that is going to be for us here in Norman. More of a threat down in the far southwestern portion of the state. That's going to be your chance for a bigger, stronger, more isolated tornado. Here's that tornado threat zone. Along with that severe weather outlook, I've created a tornado threat zone. So possible tornado throughout most of the state tonight. More increased chance out in that southwestern portion of the state down near Lawton. Again, that's going to be most likely for a tornado tonight. Here's our maximum severe threat. So again, these are maximum. Tornado, low threat for us, grapefruit sized hail, 70+ mile per hour winds. That is going to be the best chance though, that and flooding as well. Okay, so this evening though, here's those chance for some storms. And increasing temperatures, 73 by midnight tonight. Lows across the entire state mild. 58 is a low for us here in Norman. Normal for this time of year, 44, well above that tonight. Day planner across the day tomorrow. Those winds remaining strong. Best chance of rain in the morning about 8 a.m. warming up quite a bit at 73. All right, highs across the entire state warm as well. That chance of rain leaving tomorrow afternoon. Here's our 7-day forecast. Best chance of rain is going to be tomorrow. But guys, look at that week. A rainy week ahead of us, which is something we really need. So looking forward to that rain coming up the next few days.
Thanks so much, Kylie.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Kyla. Keep an eye on it. And OU football may have found another offensive weapon for next season. Kenneth Adair has more.
That's right. OU football got a major pickup today. We'll fill you in on that. And Russell Westbrook continued his MVP run in Dallas. Sports is around the corner. Welcome back. OU football needed a breakaway deep threat, and now they got one. The Sooners picked up Kentucky transfer receiver Jeff Badette, who was the Wildcats' leading receiver and averaged over 21 yards per catch. This continues the Sooner streak of looking to other schools to replace their former top receiver. With Badette on one side and Marquise Brown on the other, the wide receiving core looks very promising for the upcoming season. Speaking of OU receivers, last night on Sooner Sports Pad, two great Sooners in Mark Andrews and Nick Basquin made an appearance. The Stars were asked a series of questions from the host and the audience, one of them being about quarterback Baker Mayfield and his return for his senior season.
Shows he truly cares about this university, this team, his teammates, everybody that's involved with the football program. That's our main goal, is to win a national championship.
Yeah. You can see the entire episode of Sports Pad right here on OU TV after this newscast. What you won't see today is OU softball in action against North Texas in Denton. Thanks to the severe weather forecast, they've been postponed until April 18th. OU volleyball will open its spring season as they will face off against UNT and UCO in 2 exhibition matches. There are 3 matches overall, the first one being between UCO and UNT at 11, and then OU will play both teams back-to-back. Admissions will be free to the public as the exhibitions will be held this Saturday. And last night was once again another spectacular performance from the Brody, Russell Westbrook. The Thunder took on the Dallas Mavericks last night in a game that went down to the final seconds. The Mavs led for most of the game, but it was Westbrook who would take over in the fourth. Russ would miss a shot with under 20 seconds left, but he told head coach Billy Donovan he wouldn't miss another and hit the game winner with 7 seconds remaining. And have you ever thought about breaking a concrete block with your head? I doubt it. Well, this 16-year-old kid, Karim Ametsvik, did just that. But he did it 111 times in 35 seconds and set a new world record. Now, towards the end, he got a little sloppy with his flips, but he was able to finish strong and avoid letting the dizziness phase him. Now, I don't know about you guys, but for me, that's insanely incredible.
Incredible. That's a word.
For me,
Kind of made my head hurt watching it.
Like, just watching it, yeah, it makes your head hurt, but still, it's pretty cool.
I don't know if cool or incredible would be in
Hey, it's in the Guinness Book of World Records, and we as OU students know something about that.
You're right. Thanks, Kenneth.
Thanks. Still to come on OU Nightly, a selfless 7-year-old you'll want to meet. Stay with us.
I'm Lauren Linville at the Update Desk. OU's Problems and Projects Committee is purchasing 2 or 3 new benches to place along Jenkins Avenue. This idea came from the discovery of an older man struggling to make the walk down Jenkins during football season. And Oklahoma Congressman Tom Cole is the Republican chair of the panel who is reviewing President Donald Trump's request to decrease funds for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting by $445 million. That's it for now. Back to you.
Thanks, Lauren. A big-hearted 7-year-old boy in Wisconsin gave up his most prized possession to try to help police officers cope with the loss of one of their own. Brady Duke wrote a letter to the department before giving his Wii gaming system, saying his Wii was his favorite thing to do. Detective Jason Weiland was killed while responding to the shooting. He spent 18 years in law enforcement, all in the Wausau area. Officers say this young boy made a really special impact on the Wausau Police Department. I don't know about you, Storm, but at 7 years old, giving up my Wii would have been really hard.
Yeah, that's a special 7-year-old right there with the big heart.
How sweet, so sweet.
Thanks. All right, Kylie, I know a lot of rain is in the forecast, and it's going to kind of dump on the metro, isn't it?
It is, guys. The next few days are going to be extremely wet, extremely rainy. Okay, so here's my future rainfall map. Wow, look at that. 3 inches of rain for us in Norman. Close to 5 inches elsewhere in the state as well, too, in cities that aren't shown up on this map. So it's going to be extremely wet for us for the next few days. So really looking forward to that, especially to get us out of that drought, too, for the next few days. So extremely rainy the next few days, but severe weather, too, tonight. So be sure to keep an eye on that, too, later on this evening. Thank you.
Everyone's prepared for
Have to get the rain boots out. All right.
Yes.
Thanks, Kylie.
Thanks for watching OU Nightly, brought to you by the Gaylord College at the University of Oklahoma.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night live at 4:30.
Have a great evening.
Good night.